What's up, YouTube? Cam that guy here. I'm back once again with another YouTube video, man. So in this YouTube video, I'm gonna be giving out advice. Okay, I'm gonna be giving out management advice. Okay, how to be a manager, how to be a good manager. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be giving out advice on management in general. The type of management I'm giving advice on is retail. You know what I'm saying? I was a management at retail. I was a management at Dollar Tree, right? I had to count tills. You know what I'm saying? I had to count the safe. You know what I'm saying? I had to manage my associates. I had to do all that shit in between. So I want to talk about all this shit in its entirety, everything I know about being a good manager. Okay. So to become a manager, you have to take a test. During this test, they'll train you and give you certain scenarios and shit. And you have to pass the test in order to become a manager to begin with. When taking a manager test, you have to have a lot of common sense. And yeah, that was to say you just have to have common sense. In order to become a manager to begin with, you have to have a good performance on the sales floor. If you ever want to become a manager of a business or just generally want to be promoted as manager, you have to have a good performance on the sales floor and a good attendance, and you have to be dependable, you have to be reliable, you have to be flexible. That's the best way to become a manager on a sales floor if you're an associate. Once you get promoted to this manager position, you'll be given a series of tests. You know what I'm saying? I had to take two tests. I had to take a manager test and another manager test and a background check. So that's what you'll be given if you are looking to become a manager. You'll probably be given three or four tests, but you take these tests. So here is what I got from these tests, and just general common sense on how to be a good manager. Okay, so step one, you know what I'm saying, is to have a good manager spirit, to have confidence. Let's start with, you know what I'm saying, just being, let's start with, we're going to start with yourself and then we're going to start with your associates. So to start with yourself, to be a good manager is number one, let's say, you got to have good hygiene. You know what I'm saying? I want to say this real quick. When you're a manager and shit, let's say a customer wants to speak to you and shit, make sure you smell good, make sure your breath don't stink, all that shit in between. Make sure you are manager appropriate, manager ready. You know what I'm saying? When you're a manager, you need to look professional. That's why you always see managers in suits and ties and shit like that. And they smell good. Some got cologne on and shit. Because when you're a manager, you are a representation of this business. You are a representation of this company, right? So you need to make sure you smell and look your best. Everything's up to par. When you're a manager, you need to come to work every day looking your best. You know what I'm saying? You don't. There's no lax season. You know what I'm saying? Like no, you can't one day do it and one day not. You got to make sure you good at all times. You can't disappoint, you know, so you can never forget to always be able to pour. When you're a manager, your highest you must always be able to pour. You gotta look manager ready, you gotta appear like you're a manager. So appear like you're a manager is step one. Step two is to handle your business, you know what I'm saying? That means handle your task that is given to you by your district manager, wherever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? In some cases, store managers or assistant managers are given tasks by, let's say if you're assistant manager, I was assistant manager. I was given tasks by my store manager. If you're a store manager, most of the times you make your own decisions, but sometimes your district manager will give you a task. Me being assistant manager, my boss normally just told me recover the store, do go back, all that shit in between. I never did that shit. I mean, I did it at first, you know what I'm saying, but after a while, I started to realize the customers were intentionally fucking up. You know what I'm saying? They ruin shit. It's kind of like, okay, I do this, but an hour later, he's fucked up again. I'm wasting my energy. I'm wasting my stamina. I'm wasting my time. I'm not finna do this. The store about to stay fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not finna go through that process. Like, when I was working there, like people was coming in and out of the store. Like when I was working there, Dollar Tree was busy. You know, so when I was at Dollar Tree, it was busy. Like I brought company there, I brought customers there. Like it was busy, especially during Christmas time. The whole parking lot was full. The store was full of people. Like Christmas time is the most busiest time for Dollar Tree. But even before Christmas time, even sometimes in the summer and shit, there'll be like lines, like a long line and shit like that. Like I brought company, I brought customers to that store because I was a somebody, right? But all in all, what I'm saying, handle your business given by your boss. That's the most important thing, what I'm saying. Wherever, your supervisor tells you, handle that business before you do any of your tasks you need to do for your store. So, for example, let's say I'm at Dollar Tree, right? I noticed that the balloon station needs to get balloons filled back up. But my store manager tells me, look, what I'm saying, do red zone. You know what I'm saying? Do red zone. Red zone is seasonal items. My store manager tells me, recover red zone. It looks bad today. I'm gonna recover red zone before I do the balloons. I know the balloons need to be stored because people get balloons out of Dollar Tree like that. People love to get balloons. I'm gonna do seasonal items red zone first because that's what my boss wants. If I don't do that, there's a chance I could get fired. Even though I know the balloon station is more important because taking care of the customer is more important than just making the store look nice. I'm gonna go do this for my boss so he'd be happy. You know what I'm saying? So always listen to your super up, your higher up. When you're a manager, a store manager, or assistant manager, most times you have a higher up. Always listen to them. Next, make a to do list. You know what I'm saying? Like observe your store, observe your surroundings and shit. Figure out what needs to be done. So just like I said, for example, me observing my store, balloon station needs to be filled up. There's no more balloons left. The cooler needs some drinks in there. There's no more drinks in there. You know what I'm saying? This is an example. You know what I'm saying? Kitchenware, the aisle 10 and shit is low on shit needs to be stocked. Or or I could go and say stationery needs to be recovered. The school aisle needs to be recovered. This is me observing my surroundings. This is me taking note what needs to be done today. Like there's always something to do in a retail store. You should never not be doing nothing in a retail store. There's always something to do. Especially if you're at a busy retail store that gets hit with a lot of customers, more likely the aisles will be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? There's always shit to put away, recover, to stock, all that shit. If you're at a busy store, there's always shit to do. So it's important to make a to-do list of things that need to be done at that store. And it's important to finish those things today. Make a to-do list for yourself to go do. Like as a manager, you want to be busy, you want to be doing stuff, you want to be productive and shit. This is my experience as a manager because as a manager, we did things. Some managers don't do a lot of physical shit. They do more of like the online virtual shit. I'm gonna get into all that later, but I'm speaking on my hands-on experience of being a manager at Dollar Tree. This is what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Some managers do stuff on the floor, some don't. But I'm speaking just for me. Make a to do list of shit and go from there. Handle your task first. Next, your associates. You need to make sure you treat your associates how you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? You need to treat your associates how you want to be treated. Treat your associates with respect and shit, but at the same time, have authority. Let them know at the end of the day, I'm the boss. Whatever I say, go. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, give them a little bit, you know what I'm saying, a leeway, you know what I'm saying, to let them know, look, I'm a down to earth, cool boss. You can talk to me about anything. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll let you get away with something, this, that, or third. Be a down to earth, cool boss. It's really important to be a good manager. I can't stress this enough. There's some managers that are bad. You know what I'm saying? There are some cool managers, there's some managers that are just bad. You know what I'm saying? Like back when I was at Home Depot, there was only one good manager there. All the rest of them were bad. And they didn't even know nothing on the floor. You know what I'm saying? There was only like a few managers that knew shit on the floor. Most of them didn't even know shit on the floor. You ask for them to help, they clueless. It's like they're just a body there. They're just there to lock and open the store. They don't even know shit about anything. They don't know nothing about no type of products on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like what do you do here? You know what I'm saying? That's what's kind of like. You know what I'm saying? So as a manager, you always want to have general knowledge on the store and shit. Always have that just in case an associate asks you for shit. Like I always feel like to be a manager, you have to know like a thing or two on the floor. There was some managers at Home Depot that didn't know jiggly squat. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know anything. So when you're a manager, you need to make sure you have general knowledge. But like I said, you should have that I had that when I was promoting manager and shit, you know what I'm saying? But you need to have general knowledge about your business. You need to have knowledge about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So back to the associate shit. You need to be a down to earth, cool manager. So it's good to be a likable manager, but not to be a pushover manager. So you want to be a manager, you know what I'm saying, that is relatable, likable, and shit. That if you get good wording for your associates that you're a good manager, there's a chance you get promoted to a higher ranking. You might become a district manager or a regional manager. How your associates feel about you matter. You see what I'm saying? It does. You know what I'm saying? You could get promoted higher by good wording for your associates and a good ass performance. More so a good performance, but also have a good rep with your associates, right? Be a down to earth manager. Treat your associates how you want to be treated. Do not just because you're a manager, you boss them around, you be an asshole and shit. That's not managementism. Being a manager is treating people how you want to be treated, being nice and respectful. You know what I'm saying, and doing your job accordingly. That's what's important about being a manager. Next, you know what I'm saying, you gotta have math skills, you know what I'm saying, because managers count the till. You know what I'm saying? Associates do not count tills. If they did, they'll steal money, they'll fuck shit up. Managers count tills. I'm gonna tell you about the till counting process, how I went about it, right? I'll take the till down and shit. Usually you're given a money counter, but you need to be able to count money in case the money counter is broken. There's been at least twice I was in the store, the money counter was broken. Thankfully, I had another manager with me to count the money. But you need to be able to count money by hand, right? You need to be able to do it just in case any situation goes awry. You need to be able to count money by hand. If you can't count money, you can't be a manager. But I always did the money counter. You go do the money counter and shit. Make sure you separate the bills accordingly. Make a pile for the ones, the fives, the tens, the 20s, the 50s, the 100s. Make a pile for each set of bills. Throw on that money counter, you know what I'm saying? Write down how many ones you got. What's the quantity of ones? Write down the quantity of fives. Write down the quantity of tens and all that other shit, right? Then after you write down the quantity of each, go ahead and combine all the money you got together as a total. There'll be a total. Make sure you put it in a deposit bag or a slip, whatever you put the money in. You put it in there and take it to the bank. If I were a manager here at Dollar Tree, the rule was you will always have somebody follow you to the bank. At some stores, it's probably different. They probably have you drive solo. If I'm a manager, if I have good connections and resources and relationships there, I'm having somebody follow me to the bank just in case anything happens. If that deposit don't hit the bank, you're fired. You could get sued. A lot of shit can happen. I'm having somebody follow me to the bank to witness me putting it in there, or just in case I get in an accident or anything go awry. Once that happens, you know what I'm saying? You're all set. Y'all progress. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Always have somebody follow you to the bank when you have the deposit. Count money is easy as pie. You know what I'm saying? Count money is easy as pie. You know what I'm saying? It's easy as fuck. Especially with a money counter. You know what I'm saying? Really, if you got a money counter, it's easy. You know what I'm saying? I used to, at first, count money was a little difficult for me. Then as time goes on towards my middle end days at Dollar Tree, I was counting money like quick. I was dit, dit, dit. I was counting money quick as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I used the money counter the whole way. I never got put in a situation where I had to count it by hand. But there has been times where the money counter broke at Dollar Tree, and my other manager counted by hand. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you're a manager at a retail, you have to be able to count money by hand. And to count money by hand, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say you got a bunch of ones. Let's say you got a bunch of fives. 5, 10, 50, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You know what I'm saying? You count like that, you know what I'm saying? Or you could do for fives, you know, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how many fives you got. Or 10, you go, how many 10s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know 70, you know what I'm saying? Or you see you got 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? That would be 140. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of count like that. I'm saying I got 50s. One, two, three, four, five. You know what I'm saying? I got, you know what I'm saying? 200. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how you gotta count it. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta kind of count accordingly, you know. So you gotta count right, you know what I'm saying? It'll be easier for me if I had the bills right in front of me, so I'm counting correctly, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how you gotta go about the situation. My fault. That would actually be 250, you know what I'm saying? It'll be 250. I miscounted. I caught myself. 250, you know what I'm saying? 50 times 6 is 250, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how you do it. You just multiply and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to count money and shit. And it's easy to count 100s, you know, 100, 200, 300, you know, you just go like that, you know what I'm saying? So that's how you go about the situation of counting money, you know. So you need to be able to count money by hand and always double check your work as far as you counting money. Make sure you always double check and make sure you count it right. You can make an error just like I did, but I haven't counted money in a while, so that's the reason why I made an error. Me and my heyday, I wouldn't have did that. I haven't counted money in ages. But me and my heyday, the more you count money, the better and easier all the shit becomes. You see how I just simplify be counting money? That's because I have days of experience of counting money, months of experience of doing it. I worked at Dollar Tree for a year and a half. I have a year and a half of experience of doing with money. Like I know how to count money. I know how to do cash register, count money and shit like that. I know how to see if somebody try to trick me. Sometimes cashiers will fold money and then give it to you, you know what I'm saying? Or sometimes they'll have you a fake dollar bill. You gotta make sure you be able to read 100s and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Every time you make sure you tell your cashiers this. Every time you get a 100, tell your cashier, make sure you look at it to the light to make sure it's real and shit. Tell your cashiers that as a manager. This been time at Dollar Tree, we got a fake $100 bill. So I always tell your cashiers this shit, look at it through the light to make sure it's real. You gotta go through all that process, you know what I'm saying? So that's the counting money process. Now, pretty much what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying, to being a good manager, you know what I'm saying, you need to have your to-do list. You need to make sure you do your tasks. You gotta make sure whatever you're doing. Let me switch the scenario. Let's say I'm a manager of an actual brand. Okay, let's say I'm a manager of a body wash. Okay, and I need to make sure about this and that, this and that. I'm gonna write down, okay, how much products are we selling? You know, so how many units are we selling? Are we selling enough? What do I need to do to make my body wash better? Okay, so here's what I would do. What I would do is this, you know what I'm saying? I would, you know what I'm saying, try to place my body wash in the front of the store or something like that. I would discount my body wash. I have a sale, get buy two for one or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do if I'm not selling enough body wash or some shit like that. How's the product smelling? Do I need to change the ingredient or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Do I need to let the owner of the body wash know, okay, people have a bad reaction to it or something like that? Or do I need to let the owner of the body wash, well, uh, not the owner because I'm the manager of it. I guess I'm the owner. Do I need to change the ingredient? You know what I'm saying? Do I need to discount? I'm gonna discount the prices. I'm gonna do two for one, $5. You know what I'm saying? That's a good deal or some shit. You know what I mean? That's how I would discount my body. Let's say I do always sell body wash for $3. A good deal is buy two for one, $5. Because if you buy two separately, it'll be $6. That's how you gotta market it. So you gotta know how to, brand correctly. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? I will move my body wash. I'll put a bunch of body washes on the end cap on the front of the store so people can see it when they walk in and shit like that. You gotta brand correctly and shit. It's easy as fuck to be in a manager, man. You just gotta have common sense. Common sense is what matters most. Common sense is what matters most. Also, here's the last thing I want to speak about being a manager is sexual harassment. A lot of managers think just because they're a manager, they're allowed to sexually harass women. I seen this on the Dollar Tree test. I took a test on it. It's real important that you do not have no sexual contact with none of your employees at the store. If you're a manager, do not be in a relationship with no employee there, no employee there. It could ruin your chance at the job. Do not be in no relationship with no woman if you're a manager. I know that's hard for me to say, so I know that's a little bit, but if you want to elevate in life, this, that, and the third, you would try your best not. you know what I'm saying, to have, you know what I'm saying, a relationship with no woman, you know what I'm saying, at your place of work. Now, if it just so happens to happen, sometimes when you're a manager, you get that extra glow. You know what I'm saying? That women kind of gonna want to talk to you because you're a manager and shit. But try your very best not to be a manager there. But if the opportunity really presents itself, if the opportunity really presents itself, and you and this woman are clicking and shit like that, I did relationship advice all the time. But if you and this woman are really clicking, or it could be vice versa. Say you're a woman, you know what I'm saying, you and this man trying to get at you or something, saying you and this man really you and this man really clicking. I would say go for it. But the first two red flags, call it off. You know what I'm saying? The first two red flags you see, I will call it off. I don't want to let the relationship get any further. You know what I'm saying? But try your best not to have no sexual relationships with no employees there as a manager. Your job is your priority and it comes first. Try your best not to have that sexual tension at work. If it happens, it happens. I'm not saying it turned out anything. Most people, a lot of people don't know this. Most people find their spouse at the workplace. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. Majority of people, this they did a survey on this. Most people find a significant other at the workplace. So I'm not saying don't rule out having a significant other at the workplace. But what I'm saying is your job comes first and try your best not to. And if it happens, it happens. Let it happen naturally. Don't force anything. And after the two first red flags, call it off. You know what I'm saying? Because you are a manager. If you're an associate, you can have all the relationships you want to at work. You can have all the boyfriend, girlfriend's wife, or whatever you want to at work. If you're under a manager, if you're not a manager, you can do it. But if you're a manager, you cannot do it because that sexual harassment thing, it will get you fired in a heartbeat. It can get you put in jail, all that shit. You take that sexual harassment test to make sure you follow the guidelines and shit like that. So the first two red flags, I will call it off. And that's the end of this video. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all enjoyed this video. You know what I'm saying? If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Yeah.